Hello, I'm Tammy Fontana with On the Family Counseling Center Private Limited. I'm answering questions about therapy process in different situations, and I try and do it with using real language in the way people talk rather than very clinical, technical terms, because I think sometimes that distracts people from expressing what they mean. And so it's just kind of a real therapist talking to you, especially if you're looking at therapy and have questions and trying to decide if you want to use therapy. None of these videos are intended to be a workaround to therapy because therapy is actually a really customized, complicated process. And while a lot of people can have very similar problems, the underpinning of how they got to their situations or the way they're going to get out of them, that's where therapy comes in. And as I tell people, therapy is everybody knows what they need to do, but they're not able to do it. And that's where therapy comes in. So today, again, is part two. I have a different video on, can my therapist make my partner change? Can my therapist make somebody do something they don't want to do? And I want to talk today about the short answer is no, we cannot. I wish I could. If I could do that, I would probably not be sitting here making this video. But what I can do is very powerful with people who really want to change or are curious about changing. I form a relationship and a partnership with them and help them to make themselves aware of themselves in ways that they've never been. And if you're in a relationship with somebody and you really want your partner to change and they have a lot of behaviors that are problematic, maybe they're drinking, maybe they're reckless with money, maybe that you don't like the way they parent, maybe they're even, they're not nice, they're rude, they behave in ways that you think, God, I need the therapist to tell them. The reality is that won't work. Who am I? And I'll have a lot of people calling me saying, I want you therapists to tell them what they're doing to me is how they're treating the kids or me is bad, it's wrong, it's inconsistent. That won't work because I'm nobody to them. I have no relationship with them. And just me wearing the title of therapist is, dismissed and diminished by a lot of people. I have a lot of skills, I have a lot of training, but if somebody doesn't want to work with me, that's sort of a deal breaker. And now if you are the spouse who really wants your partner to change and you really want them to do therapy and you really want them to change, you're actually the one who needs to do the therapy. And I can help you learn about boundaries, about understanding what your partner's doing to help you get them ready to want to do therapy. So the therapy actually starts with you. And a lot of people turn therapy into some sort of power struggle where they think if I'm in therapy, I'm the broken one, I'm the screwed up one. I don't have the problem, my partner does. But if you really want your partner to change, you also need to be aware of what you will need to do to get your partner ready to change. So that's where I help people do solo marriage counseling, and I help them learn about boundaries. I help them see things in different ways, see choices they didn't have, to start interacting and communicating with their partner who is not kind or nice or doesn't parent right or does a lot of things that are objectively wrong, but that person doesn't want to change. And I can help you who wants your partner to change. You love them, you don't want to divorce them, but you're finding it very difficult to live with their behaviors. It's not going to work to drag them in and having the therapist do a sit down and talk to them. You need to work with me, the therapist, to learn how to modify yourself and develop yourself, to set boundaries, to develop your own identity, so that when you talk, your partner will listen to you. Because right now your partner is not really listening to you, they're not receptive to you. And that's actually something you need to address. And until you address that, the partner isn't going to come in and listen to anybody else because they don't need to. They've learned that they can do what they're doing to you because you are allowing it. That may be very hard to hear and very upsetting. But if you want your partner to change, the fastest way to change is to work on yourself, build a relationship with the therapist, and learn how the therapist can help you develop and modify what you're doing. And a lot of people say, but why should I change? Or I'm not the screwed up one. Well, you don't need to change. Then you will continue to get what you're getting. But if you don't like what you're getting, you got to let go of the idea that somebody else can make your partner change when you yourself are telling your partner through the way they're treating you, it's acceptable. Because again, having somebody sit them down and talk to them and lecture them isn't going to do anything. Who am I? The minute they get out of the 50-minute session, they're going to go on and say, that person's full of crap. I'm not doing that again. I'll never go to therapy again. And I'm not changing. I don't need to change. You need to change. So consider not making therapy a power struggle. Consider that therapy isn't a punishment or a declaration of there's something wrong with you. It's actually a tool of empowerment. And some of my clients who are healthy and smart and powerful, they seek out help. Healthy people seek out help when things that they're doing aren't working. So I hope that's helpful to you. Something to consider about how to get your partner into therapy and how to get your partner to change is by starting with yourself. Thank you.